Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 28th of April. Okay, news-wise today, before I get on to anything else, there isn't anything significant. Consumer confidence is all that I can see there. US consumer confidence at 3 p.m. Everything else is very light stuff, and even that I don't expect to see any real movement. So we're left again to our own technical devices, and well, technically the euro, I looked at this in the morning, had a chip at it, but it stopped me. But I was looking for the rollover. I still think this could roll over a little bit further. Had quite a big correction on Friday there relative to its week. It danced around for a lot of the week. It's 60-minute here. You can see lower high confirmed this morning as it's pushed that through. It did it through yesterday afternoon eventually, he says, and rolled part way. Now I'm just looking at this at the moment. It looks on the softer side, having broken that low, so more likely to look for short opportunities at this stage. But very pinched old market, tight as didn't have a lot of range yesterday, and as you see from the pivots, they're just sort of pinched up a little bit here, so we could see them rolling. If it does roll over, roll beyond its S1 there, and maybe if it can push back up into it, well, if it changes direction here, maybe those highs in the R1 would be a good target. But as I say, I'm not convinced with the upside there at the moment. The pound is equally difficult to read here on the shorter time frame. It's well, on many of these time frames, it still yesterday looked like it was trying to pitch this upside here, but having seen it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, tight ranges, as soon as it gets into this, it makes reading it much more difficult. And looking here, high lows, high highs, 4 hourly maybe. It started earlier in the week than the euro to trying to push up. Euro pushed up from Friday really. This pushed up midweek or the earlier part of the was that late Tuesday? Anyway, it's certainly been pushing up a little bit longer there. I do ask questions about it, and I'm looking at it here. It hasn't really confirmed the softer side as we've seen with the euro. Maybe it could push up, but it's just so much uncertainty there for me. Okay, let's have a look at the yen, another one that's difficult. He says has been difficult last week. It was in tight ranges during the week. It finally broke down yesterday, but it gave up. Put a bullish engulf in there, and then we've seen this sort of chopping going on, and not really actually it's still erring that sort of south side downside sort of potential there. So not put a higher low in there. It's again it's tightened up here, and it's a difficult one to read. It was a difficult one for a long time last week, which way it was going to go. Finally, on the Friday, it rolled a little bit there, but picked back up, but good roll down yesterday on the fact that the Bank of Japan was going to do just about as ever, anything to keep the economy running. But maybe it's got some chance. If we see money going to safety, that may be helping it as well, of course. Aussie dollar, the bright light out there, well, it remained a bright light yesterday, pushed up positively. Look at it on the shorter time frame here though now, and it's a little bit tight. It's the flag sort of pattern, but it's just getting a bit long-winded. It may still have their legs to push up here. It's probably the more positive, one of the more positive currencies, along with the New Zealand dollar really, but the Aussie dollar's outstripped most of them. If you look at the Aussie New Zealand dollar, the Aussie's pitched away from it, and it's maybe one of the pairs that there's probably a bit more light at the end of the tunnel there at the moment. So we'll see, but it's positive from institutional sentiment, much more positive on the Aussie as well there. Canadian dollar, this one is on the road to nowhere a lot of the time, and well, yesterday it managed a down day there, but strengthening against the US dollar, but it's given that up quite quickly, and lower highs, lower lows up until that point in last Friday, last week. It bounced then, and now it's, well, again, range bound here. So a lot of these markets quite difficult to read, and it's sometimes you almost need another voice to tell you they're quite difficult to read. Short term, sometimes they set up looking good, but then they're not absolutely, well, that's bullish, that's bearish. Again, this market, well, it looks like for the US dollar it may be bullish. It's not really done too much to change the original direction. It was sort of coming down here. Yes, it's had a bounce. Arguably, yep, it's put a higher low in breaking that high there. So maybe it's got a short-term higher low in there, but difficult to read. Not as I say, for intraday trading, I try and steer people away from it. Talking about steering people away, I've been steering people away. I really want to get bullish on the oil, but not yet, and it keeps coming through. Not yet. That is the message. I saw some value. I thought I'd give it a go before the last contracts expired, before we saw this happen actually, but it's just not the time at the moment in my book. And I know one of our traders actually went the short side, and I think it's probably got probably more in that, and hopefully he's still in it, but it's pushed below its weekly pivot here, looking soft again. Now brokers are doing all sorts of things here to help traders even, bearing in mind that there's expectations of lower rates even yet from them, so it's quite a sign that they're doing things and suggesting things which basically, they won't allow traders to short below the $5 or whatever else. Maybe that's helping them, but or trade below when the price is below the $5 even. It's probably a safety aspect. We'll see, but for now, either way, well, there is some divergence, but don't be holding on to that thought too much. It's on the shorter time frames. Bigger time frames important here, and it's still pushing down. Lots to sort out on oil before that can be a bullish trade for me. S&Ps, well, yesterday carried on pushing up there. As I said, it spoilt the pattern that I was looking at originally. It is pushing back up there, back in almost into. It's not quite up until those prior highs. Those prior highs might just stall things a little bit here, but at the moment it's gently continuing on that path. Longer term, I'm sort of still looking at this on it with a bearish pair of glasses on, but maybe I don't trust this move to the upside overall. I think that at some point it's got a chance to retrace, but for now, just leave it be, just as with oil. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. As I say, no real news out today, so have a great day. Bye for now.